Jus Riffin. Tuesday night, 8:30 EST. Know where we be? Jus Riffin. Special guest, a tech and talk, a musicology. Jus Riffin. Coming to you live at the same time. Here every week. Jus Riffin. Jump in the room, let's chop it up. It really ain't that deep. Jus Riffin.
What's up, y'all? It's another Tuesday night. This is Jus Riffin. I'm one of your hosts, Hefner. I got Cookie Rabinowitz in the building with me. He is in the club hanging out. We do this every Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll thank people along the way as they start trickling in. This is a community jam, so this is for everybody and anybody that wants to get on the mic with us. Just hit us up in the comments. We'll send you a link, and you get up on stage with us. You don't have to necessarily be on video. You could just use your audio and just keep your camera off. But we'd love to hear from you.
If they look pretty, Hef, I don't mean to interrupt you, but if they look pretty but they don't like to talk, they can just show their picture and not talk too. They can do that, right?
There you go. Okay, yeah, fair enough. So, what's cooking with you, Cookie? How's life been this past week?
Well, I gotta say, thanks to Jus Riffin and God Cloud, I've been really inspired. I've been working on my finger drumming a little bit and incorporating it more in my live set. And I gotta say, I've been kind of dibble dabbling with it for years, but just mainly when I'm recording, but not so much live performance. But God Cloud, when he came on the show, I was like, man, that's fucking some wild shit he's doing. Mm-hmm. I don't think I could get it like that, but I can get it for what I need to perform my music. So shout out to God Cloud, man. You're awesome. Thank you.
That's what's up, man. Hell yeah, God Cloud. He's dope, God Cloud. He's been doing some stuff, and I like watching that, that whole evolution of a song being done live like that. If you can do the finger drumming. I've since seen so many different like finger drummers, finger, I don't know what you want to call them, just producers that are doing it live, but like as it is. There was one guy that replayed this famous jazz song, and I was like, what? It's like all over like the internet. I forget the name of the song, but I know the song. I know it. And he did the finger drumming like as if he were playing the live drums, which is hard as it is, the live drums. And I'm like, I was blown away. I got to find the video. It was on Instagram or something I saw, as I was like scrolling through stuff. And I was like, whoa.
I forget. Are we calling it finger banging now? Is that
finger banging? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, bro.
But anyway, because we were saying finger drum. I don't know. But anyway, I've been checking out some people too, and God Cloud, great stuff. And there's some guys on, and I like it because I like. There's two approaches that I like. There's some guys that come from like a hip hop element that they have that sound, like whether it's trap music or whatever they're doing, and they had that sound like the 16th note hi-hats and very not a lot of velocity with the hi-hats because that's the sound they're going for. And then there's a mixture of that in the hip-hop realm, and then there's electronic guys, and then there's guys like this guy Dragon Finger. Have you seen his videos? It's wild. He basically plays it like a real drummer. When you hear him playing, he plays like an acoustic jazz drummer or a rock drummer, whatever. But he does everything. But I like all the different styles, and one thing I learned of value is bring your own unique flavor to it. And by watching these different guys, like for myself, like I found that from playing bass, like slapping bass, and for me performing live, I kind of have to do most of my work with one hand when I'm finger drumming. So I'm hitting my kick drum, my kick drum, like I would slap a bass, like boop, 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 and my snare is here. Like that, but anyway, and it's working out nice. I have a lot of work to do on it. I'm not as consistent as I need to be, but I'm, working with the metronome. It's pretty cool.
That's what's up, man. Let me see if this is the right person.
That's him. That's him. Yeah, he's badass.
That's
Shout out
dope.
to shout out to Dragon Figure. Yo, I'm gonna see if we can get him on the show or somebody. You do it. You people like you better than me, so you go.
Uh, you could do it.
But he's pretty badass. But that was that I watched that video and that was him giving an example of how a drummer uses fingers. So he did it, but he uses all his fingers when he plays, and it's fucking bizarre. Bazonkos. I just made up a word for that. It's bazonkos. Okay.
I'm trying to find this dude that was here's another guy. This is fucking 3 years ago. This is some other shit. I'm just gonna play since we happen to be talking about it, but let's see.
Yeah, man, bring it on. I love this shit.
It's just crazy because it's like they like to just to do that, the concentration, especially when you have something like that's where the pads are so small, like that last guy that we just played, like that's just incredible, you know. Um,
Well, I want to ask you something about that. Like, I saw at the beginning of his video, it said all the stuff here is played live, right, and everything.
Live at the
And
same time.
yeah, so I'm wondering what your thoughts on that. Like, do you think like we need that? Like, are we here to like have a show off contest, or are we just here to express ourselves musically? Like, do we really need to say, hey? I mean, I think it's cool, and I don't think it's show offy of him. But I'm asking, I guess, let the music speak for itself. Like, I don't give a shit.
I
Like,
think
I don't
I
give a
think
shit.
no, I think he's I think he's dope. Okay, there's another guy, right? When you say, Scooby Doo, and my interpretation of Scooby Doo is like when you're just Scooby Dooing all over the place, right? You're just playing everything. Um, I'm going to give you a perfect example. Here's a drummer. This guy is amazing, and but he's Scooby Dooing, but he's so good. This guy's one of the best drummers I've ever seen in my life. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of show you this guy because this guy, he's I forget what his name is. He's all over the internet, but
I would
this is
never hire him for a gig. But anyway,
this,
go ahead.
yeah, his name is L L Estepario Suburbiano. Okay, so but like I want to just tell you something. He's insane. He's one of the best drummers on the planet, and
In your opinion.
in my opinion,
Yeah.
when I say this coming from a drummer standpoint. His skills are impeccable. Like playing with one hand, some of that stuff is really just hard to do. And this is just like when you're in the gym working out or you're practicing your skills, you're LeBron James on the basketball court because you've put in thousands and thousands or hundreds and thousands of hours, and just you gotten just so good at your craft. Um, so yeah, I wanted to show you. Let's see. I just want to. I'm trying to.
Yeah. So I just want to chime in on that. Like, for me, the music is not about that. It's about making somebody's ass move or making somebody feel something. That to me was like you said, it was like at the gym. And I'm sure he's got other shit. He's probably got some nice grooves, maybe. I mean, let's check him out. He says he got some nice grooves on there, but like that to me was like doing push-ups or jumping jacks. And that's coming from a non-drummer. That's coming from somebody who loves music as a listener. You
Yeah,
know.
I'm looking at his. I always see him on like Instagram, so it's always quick. Let me see if I can find some shorts here. Let's see. Okay, so hang on. Yeah, hard to find like what I'm looking for this guy, but um, yeah, I just think
Were you looking for
awesome.
the pocket? Were you looking for the pocket by any chance? Was that hard
No,
to find for
he's
him?
no, he's this guy's straight pocket. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of great drummers, and I mean, I've seen so many great drummers. This dude's like straight up in the pocket, like really good. Also, did you know that Eddie Van Halen's son has an album that he just put out not too long ago, and he plays every instrument on the album?
He's great. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
great. I saw a lot of stuff. So cool, man. It's so cool because he's got a total different flavor than his father, but you can still see the music's in him. And he's great.
yeah. He's I seen him also. How I found out about it was Drumeo does these things where they'll bring musicians in. I'm sure they do it with other like piano and bass and other stuff and guitar. But they bring the drummer in. They learn a song that they never heard before or that they don't know, and they learn the song and then they play their own version to it, which is really really cool. And then Drumeo videos it, and then they play them how the song goes at the end. So they can actually see how they did. Opposed to the original recording of the song. But yeah, so that's how I found out about the whole situation. That he played all the instruments on the album, the bass, guitars, everything, drums included, and I was impressed. I thought, wow, like Wolfgang Van Halen is, has become, you know, friggin' top musician, and he's put time in. But I mean, plus, look, your dad was Eddie Van Halen, your uncle is Alex Van Halen, so just incredible to me.
Yeah, he's got that DNA for sure.
Yeah, he's
And
got the
growing up
DNA.
in it. Yeah,
Absolutely,
and
man.
the work. Just he's definitely put his work into. Learn
And
how
the
to play all
work.
those instruments and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. The work is the most that's really what gives you the results is the work. So I think, if you're not putting in the work, you're not going to get the results. And I want to also thank our sponsor for today. Let's give them credit. Sofa King Amazing is our sponsor. Sofa King, you can get all your sofas at Sofa King Amazing, and if you want a new couch or you uh, yeah anything. So they got amazing kings there, Sofa Kings, I should say. Yeah. So thank you
Do they?
to thank you to our
I'm looking.
sponsor.
Hey, Hef, I'm looking for a nice banquette. Do they sell banquettes there by any chance?
That I don't know. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We are powered by Rug Radio. This is Just Riffin. We do it every Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's right, you know it. So I'm just like messing around here because we're messing with a new streaming service, and this is our community jam. So if you want to jump in, get into the comments. Where are the comments anyway?
Oh, I just found them chat. So it
There
looks
we
like we
go.
haven't missed anything yet.
Okay. So, anyways, if you want to jump into the chat and you want to get on the stream with us, let us know, or we'll figure out how to get you the link so you can come and join the show with us and hang out with us on this community jam. So, I guess we could talk a little bit about music. Music NFTs music NFTs, music itself, and music NFTs has not left my timeline. It's always, whether it's a joke or whether it's serious, it's always on my timeline. I always see it. And you got your usual suspects. I would say Farouk is the king of, uh, you know, blasting out music NFT all the time or something related to music, and then music NFTs. So props to Farouk for like recognizing. I know he's kidding about it more than likely, but at least he's talking about it and mentioning it. So I want that to kind of lead into what you told me, the news about Napster. So you have more on this subject about Napster and what's going on with Napster and what happened. So can you elaborate? Tell me a little bit more, and then tell the audience what's going on with Napster.
Sure. Well, what are they? Infinite Reality. So there's a company, Infinite Reality. I actually just followed them, and it just goes to show you how sometimes we can be in a little bit of a box because I haven't heard of them before, and I should probably look around more since we actually do a podcast about music. But
Hmm.
Infinite Reality, they're like a company that's doing a lot with blockchain technology, AI, and virtual worlds, and they just acquired for 217. Let me just double check the number. For 207 for $207 million, they just bought Napster, which when you think of how much music was pirated off of Napster, way more than $207 million. Or so I guess this company got a bargain. But they bought.
That's that's funny that you say that because that's what I thought when you told me the number. I was like, that's a bargain.
Hold on. Oh, no, I'm good. So anyway, they bought Napster, and what they're going to do is they're going to build out a platform for live and engaging performances using blockchain technology and streaming royalties. And I'd like to talk to him or find out more because I'm not sure if there's going to be something for like people like you or me to do, or if it's something maybe venues are going to invest in, and then people will play in these virtual venues. But it did sound interesting, and it reminds me of on a couple things. Napster, after they, oh damn, so Napster. So my phone's ringing here. I feel terrible, but I'm not gonna get it. Hopefully, I don't get fired. If I do, send soul now. But
Send
anyway,
soul.
but, but anyway, so Napster, um, they when they got bought by a legitimate company after the pirating was done, that company turned them into one of the first, if not the first, streaming service that streamed like commercial music. I subscribed to it. It was like $5 a month. It's 5 times 10, and I would use it to stream at the club, to play music. I don't know if that's right or wrong. Hopefully, I don't get arrested for that. But I would. It was great, and they've been remodeling and not rebranding, but remodeling themselves for years. And they've, I guess, finally sold because obviously their probably market share of the streaming world is probably pretty low. Not as low as
Mhm.
Pandora's, but probably pretty low, or maybe even lower than Pandora's. Who knows? But
Yeah,
this
for sure.
company bought them, and I like the
I
idea
thought
of people.
Napster was dead. I'm like, I didn't even
Pardon
when
me.
you were like
Pardon me.
Napster, I was like,
Second.
hello. Well, meanwhile, while Cookie is doing his phone work, he is at his job as a strip club DJ. And so he also has to answer the phones, which is great. I hope they're paying him extra for that. In the meanwhile,
Just Riffin. Yeah, I love them. Great music, great job.
The Jus Riffin show is every Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
all right, so I don't want to keep playing that. I just wanted to, take some time. So we're talking right now about Napster, how they got bought by another company. I myself thought Napster was completely dead. I remember Napster from back in the day, which happened to be that, where you can download music, and it was, you know, their deal with piracy and stuff like that. And I thought they were completely dead. And I remember that I saw the movie about Facebook, and then the guy who did the whole Napster thing, Sean, I forget what his last name is, got with Mark Zuckerberg, and they, built up Facebook, which is he was actually in cahoots with Facebook. So, but okay, Cookie, back to the story. We're back to Napster. I was talking about how the guy Sean, the founder, ended up like rubbing elbows with Mark Zuckerberg when Facebook was
Oh wow!
starting up. So
Wow.
I think he consulted and got a piece of Facebook as well when they were before Facebook became Facebook. But keep going on with Napster because it's a real interesting story here.
So anyway, no problem. Thank you. Okay, bye.
Oh, see, does she
So
want to get on the camera? What's her name?
that's fantasy.
Oh,
Okay.
let's see. I got a fantasy. Come on, I'm
Yeah.
playing fantasy sports and everything.
I would have to get her to sign a non-disclosure, or no, not you know what I'm talking about, not non-disclosure, but whatever it's
Yeah,
called.
yeah,
The
yeah.
but,
Just a release. It's all
yeah,
good.
yeah. But anyway, but a Napster. So I don't know. Like I'm excited about it, and I believe in the technology. I'm very vocal with you about it, and it's just a name. Like I'm not mad at a name, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what anything's called. But
But
I
they're
just don't
changing
like.
the name. It's not going to be called Napster, right?
No, I love the name Napster. I'm talking about music NFTs, but I'm
Oh,
saying I love the idea of digital collectibles. I love the idea of blockchain technology uh, being used for transactions and a ledger. And I also love, and I do want to add to this, uh, the idea of virtual live performances. This is something I'm excited about. I've been working a lot on this myself, but there's one element. Like I don't know if you remember, it's during COVID. Everybody was doing these live performances because these people couldn't go out and work.
right.
So they would do them, and some of them were very good. My friend said to me something though that really hit me, and he was like, this is cool. It's like watching people perform, but what's missing from it, it's like they're performing, but there's no interacting with the people that are watching the performance. Like what makes a live performance great is the person you're next to, like you share a moment. And this is true. And this is something that I think can be developed somehow. Don't get me wrong, it's never going to replace or be better than real people.
Yeah.
But sometimes when that can't be achieved, like some guy in Japan wants to watch a show that's happening in Philadelphia, he can
Yeah.
come in there and some guy from France is going to be next to him. And they can be like, yo, this is a kick ass show. And they can give each other virtual high fives and go kick ass show. And
That's
I think
cool.
that's amazing. And that's what's missing from live streaming music right now. And
Yeah.
I think that they have that in mind. So that excites me.
So it kind of reminds me too when you say that is I'm a huge wrestling fan. You know this. So during the pandemic, when they couldn't have audiences, they were still wrestling, and they had eventually put audience members up on little screens.
Oh, wow.
And let me see if I can find it. I'll find it for you on YouTube, right? So you can see what I'm talking about. But I thought this was really cool. And so the people, I don't think, could see each other. Um, and so the people couldn't see each other. But they were all there next to each other on a video screen, like an individual video screen. So let me see if I can find it, so I can just at least show you. Um, Damn, how would I find it? I put in WWE during COVID. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Is this it right here? Okay, crowdless. Let me see. WWE crowdless. No. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this on the screen so you can see it. Hang on one second. Let's go here. Oh, aren't I sharing the screen on it? All right, give me one sec. Let me go. Oh, I thought I shared the screen. Did I stop it? Okay, I probably stopped it, but that's all right. We're gonna go back. Okay, do you see this?
And this crowdless. Cool, cool.
Okay, so this is pretty funny. So you'll see
Person on
so you see how
crowdless.
they have the background, the screen, all
Hmm.
those. So they're wrestling, and
I
all the people
see.
in the background are on screens at home. Like, okay, so this is pretty cool. And there was another technology that I wanted to talk to you
Very
about.
cool.
Yeah, there's another technology I wanted to talk to you about. I saw this okay, so I went to the NASCAR race this weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway, and they have something which is like a crowd cam, like a selfie cam, and you use your own phone and you scan a QR code that came up on the monitors at the race, and you allow it to look to use your camera, and then you can selfie yourself like yeah, and they put you up on the big screen, right? So we
Cool.
ended up getting caught on it, and like in a good way, and we got some airtime, which was fun. We were in the box seats and chilling.
Yo, were you wearing your protected dev shirt? You should have been. You lost the
No, I
glory.
should have. I should have.
That's been awesome.
Speaking of that, I wanted to let everybody know that we have these shirts. They're available. The protected dev shirts. You can scan the QR code that's on the screen now, and that'll take you to the page. And here's what it looks like. But there's different colored shirts, right? So pick your color. But protected devs, because seriously, the devs are what make things go round and work in Web3 and blockchain, and and other things as well, and Web 2 as well. So they're the reason why you're able to drive a autonomous car. They're the reason why we're able to stream our videos live and so on and so forth, up to the music that's streaming that you love watching or listening to, rather, and movies that you love watching. So protect the devs at all costs, because without them, yeah. And this is your way of, I hate to say it, but buying us a cup of coffee. That's what I'm talking about. Cookie likes coffee, and so do I. But Cookie likes dunking his donuts in his coffee. Yeah,
I don't eat donuts, but I don't even really particularly care for Dunkin' Donuts, but it's all I got tonight. So
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
take it with gratitude.
That's what I'm talking about, dude. So, yeah, that's cool. That's right. Make sure you should follow us on Twitter as well at Jus Riffin, and check out jusriffin.com. We haven't written an article lately because we just been busy ourselves, but we should do something. Maybe we do something on this Napster, and then there was something else that I don't want to mention. Well, I guess I can mention it, but maybe we can dig a little deeper into the MIT, and I'll leave it at that. I won't say any. I'll say less, and then we can maybe write an article for justriffin.com. Maybe comparing the two, or you know, maybe doing an article on each one. But I think that's dope too. Yeah. Did you have a 2 minute? What do you want to do today? You want to do a time wasters club? What are you feeling like?
You know what? I'll do Time Wasters Club. I was thinking of some things in that realm this week, maybe that somebody might find useful, or maybe somebody could help me out.
All right, cool. All right, so let's. I'll intro the intro. I'll intro the segment. Right now, what we're going to do, everybody, we're going to do what's called Time Wasters Club, and Cookie's going to go ahead and give you the TLDR on something that will completely waste your time.
Time waster. Time waster. Time waster.
Don't get hit by the Time Wasters Club.
Take an oracle, you see, and then we connect it to communication.
All right, Cookie man, I'll leave this one on you, bro.
Well, we were talking about God Cloud earlier and how he inspired me to work on drums and finger drumming. And I'm at best a novice at it right now. Like I have lots of work to do. But one thing I found while I'm working on it is there's a pad layout, right? And your fingers, which you choose to pay for each thing, just like with a guitar, there's a certain technique with drums, and you know this as a drummer, certain things for a hi-hat with. And
Mhm.
so what I noticed with the pad layout is I went through many iterations of which fingers I should use for which. And I would spend hours and hours, and then only to find out later, no, this is not practical because then when I have to do this, I'll need to do this, and I can't do that. And I'm holding the guitar pick too because I'm playing it. And a lot of times when we're learning something new, we go down the wrong path for a decent amount of time. And the insult to injury is that path we go down that we spend all the time on. Once we find out it doesn't work, we never use all that time implemented to do that again. And I'm like, wow. And sometimes, well, my less spiritual self says to myself, fuck, I wasted all this time. I should have been doing it this way. But and especially in an output driven society we live in today where you got to get shit done quick and you got to do it and fail fast and all this shit. But as an artist, I think it's beneficial sometimes to waste time and go down the wrong paths because,
I agree with
like,
that.
even if it slowed me down a little bit, and when I found the right path, I'm not as versed on it as I could have been if I started there at the beginning. Even there's a small piece of something I carried from the wrong path that makes me, and when I say me, I makes the creator of whatever they're doing when they carry that wrong path with them, that's what's part of their unique sound, like that time they wasted. And even though there was no output for society from that, there was output to your internal self and how you present yourself and how you create, and it creates your voice. And so I'm just wondering what other people think about that, if they can relate to it, if people who spend hours and hours going down the wrong road, especially in the art world, the creative music, and how they feel about it, if they feel frustrated about it, or if they accept it and surrender to it and be like, hey, this is what makes me me. And I'm just riffing.
Just riffing. I got to add that in there. Yeah, look, we all end up doing the same. People end up their day hours going by because they're doom scrolling or they're, um, watching endless videos on YouTube. And yeah, I think, this happens a lot where people start to learn something and then maybe they start doing it, then they get discouraged and they feel like, oh man, it's just what all that time that just got wasted. Let me find something else that's not going to waste all that time, or let me do a little more research before I spend so much time in indulging into one particular thing. um, I think that happens a lot. It's hard to know whether time is going to be wasted or not. Some stuff is pretty obvious, but for the most part, it's not, because it's something that you truly want to learn, whether it's learning how to develop, learning how to play guitar, learning anything, right? That you would need to watch something, read something to learn, to get it. I don't, I think there's nothing wrong with wasting time. I shouldn't say wasting time. I don't think there's anything wrong with putting time into something that you want to learn. If at the end you feel like it's a time waste, then yeah, you should fail fast. Failing fast is key. And I'll use an example of the fail fast. Elon Musk, SpaceX, they got these astronauts down outer space, and um, hit the M on your computer, hit the M. And so Elon Musk goes up, gets these astronauts down that have been up in space for 8 months, but there was the fourth try. So they were trying, they did it, failed fast, it failed. Did it again, same thing. Did it again, same thing. They did it in that way, so that way they didn't take all the time and put it into one thing and then betting all the money on that one thing because they spent all that time. They had to figure out what was going to work and what wasn't. So I think that was a perfect example of them doing it in the sense where you fail fast, and then it worked for them.
For sure. I think that's a great point. And one thing I'm going to add to it, hey, Banks, I'll be right with you. Sorry. One thing I want to add to that is what you said about doing research and stuff. And I think um, a good point is, too, I think a good plan is sometimes to fuck the research and dive in, because research is great, but I don't know about you, but sometimes I get lost in research and shit. And I
That,
find that
that's
when I say
that,
fuck
but
the
that's
research, get to doing it, but get hands on and doing it. And doing it the wrong way is more beneficial than reading about doing it the right way.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You
saying. Yeah, because a lot of people will spend all that time learning everything and then go do it, and then it doesn't equate to what they learned, like so all that time gets wasted. I think, yeah, you're going to learn a little bit and then do it. And I work that way also. So when I need to, if I'm writing something that's like a website thing, it needs a script or a code. I mean, yeah, I'm using ChatGPT and other things as well to help me along the way, but I'm doing it quick. I'm not trying to learn it all myself, like be like a know-it-all and then do it. I basically um, will do it as I go. We have a special guest on our show today, right now. This guy's fucking all the way in London, England somewhere. Not in London because he can't afford it. Just kidding.
No, I'm in London.
I was just messing with you, man. Minton. Minton has been working at the pub, man. We have not heard from Minton. He has been just drinking his life away. I'm just kidding here. I'm always goofing, but Minton, so good to see you, bro. Welcome back to Just Riffin, and we're talking about wasted time doing research and and learning and going down that rabbit hole of YouTube, and then at the end of it, you wasted all that time. You know,
Yeah, definitely been there.
you've been
And
there,
here I
huh?
am.
What? What'd you say?
And here I am.
That's hilarious. So what's been going on in London, bro?
What's been going on? Well, yeah, like you said, I've been working a lot. I'm working in a friend's pub near Twickenham, if you have heard of that, which is like where it's like the home of British or English rugby, which is a bit like American football, but with more understandable rules.
What's the name of the province or city? What do you call them there?
Uh, London's weird because it's all London, and there's a thing of like London villages. So
Their
I guess
villages.
you'd call them like a town.
Township?
You don't really have
Like, okay, so
towns, do you?
you have London, right? But then you have like Kensington, right?
Yeah. So that's like a district, I guess, is the
Okay.
equivalent. But because London's huge and quite spread out, quite a lot of the areas aren't that joined up. So it's not like they're miles away from each other, but there's a bit of a gap between them. So a lot of them have a sort of feel like a village or a kind of you imagine like Greenwich Village.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if there was
Like-
kind of, but if it was like
I understand.
a mile or two to walk to the next bit, you know.
Right. Like Soho or East Village, West Village, Midtown, Lower East Side.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but it's there's a bit less in between them sometimes. So
I gotcha. All right. So how's that been? What are you doing? Are you serving pints?
I'm serving pints. I'm taking orders for food. I'm polishing glasses, all that. Yeah, just normal bar stuff.
What are you serving? Serving fish and chips?
We got fish and chips. We got burger. I can do a full advert if you want, but I'm not being paid for it. So no, we got fish and chips, sausage and mash, steak and ale pie. Chips. All
Okay? Besides fish and chips, what's the next famous dish for the UK? I never heard of mash and sausage though.
No, it's
Have you
probably
heard of
that.
Cookie, mash and sausage. I know you don't eat.
No, I never heard of it. I lack a lot of culture though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably that. It's like mashed potato normally in a kind of a ball of mashed potato in a big bowl, and then you got grilled sausages on top, like proper herby pork sausages normally, and then a really nice thick gravy. When I say gravy, I mean like a British gravy, like you get on a roast. So like a beef kind of gravy with onions, so onion gravy. And it's which is like a thick kind of. I know gravy has other meanings in the States, so, but it's like a sort of earthy, oniony, beefy kind of sauce with a load of onion in it. So yes, I mean it's great.
I don't know how we got into this conversation. That's
Yeah,
great.
I know.
All right, so let's.
This
switch
is
the
why people are
conversation
here,
up,
yeah?
man. Let's get off of food and let's go into what we were talking about here a little bit. Is Napster got bought out? So you remember Napster?
Oh, yeah.
So have you heard the news about Napster being bought out?
No.
And no, DYOR.
What today? In the last few days?
Cookie's got the news on it.
Well, I just saw the news. I guess I saw a clip. It was from about 12 hours ago. And actually, the article I read was, but I actually found out about it. Rug Radio actually tweeted something on it, and I felt kind of ashamed. I was like, wait, we're the music show. Why am I learning it off of? But I saw their tweet, and then I looked up the article, which was released about 12 hours ago from when I looked at it.
I actually have the tweet right here. I'm gonna pop it up on the screen. Let's see if we can get it. So Rugby says, "Hope you don't think the metaverse was over. Napster was just acquired by Infinite Reality for $207 million." Again, this is where I saw that number, and I just was like you, Cookie, like what a steal that Infinite Reality bought that for. But again, I mean it's $207 million. You got to do something with it. You can't just like, even though it's in today's day and age, price wise for a company like that, I would think, is pretty inexpensive. But they're aiming to transfer Napster into a music metaverse experience, 3D visuals, listening parties, merch sales, etc. Music NFTs. Is it time? And to answer that question, um, it, it's always been time. I don't think there's been a not time, for music to have the spotlight. I said that this was going to be the year for music NFTs, and looks like things are cooking up.
Yeah, so, I mean, it sounds interesting. I mean, yeah, they're a big brand. Obviously, started off somewhat unofficial, but I mean, they've been an official streaming brand for years. So it's interesting to see. I mean, that's great. I think bringing a brand name like that into Web3.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this link in the chat. This is to a Decrypt article. Did you already do that, Cookie? Okay. No, you didn't do the same thing. Okay, so I just put a link to a Decrypt article, basically, talking about how Napster got snapped up for 207 million to build a music metaverse. I like Cookie doesn't like the word music NFTs. And just like Cookie doesn't like the word music NFTs, I don't have a problem with it, but I do have a problem with metaverse. Metaverse just
Yeah.
gives me the fucking heebie-jeebies every time I hear it because I've heard it so many times since 2021, and it's all shit to me. So like, I just despise the word metaverse.
Hey,
I just
Hef,
don't.
but I think this is a good thing to talk about a little bit though, because I'm with you on that, definitely. And but like I explored these 3D worlds and stuff a lot when I first got into this space, and I was very optimistic about them. But I just have to be real. When I got inside, I didn't want to stay and play around. And no shade on any of them because they all worked very hard, built very big things. But
Yeah.
what do you guys think? I'm interested in what you guys think it would need for that stuff to be cool. And then I'm listening, but I got to get off the mic for 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry, but I am listening.
What we think that would make the metaverse cool?
What would make it cool? That 3D experience.
I think one is changing the name. So
Yeah.
fuck the word metaverse. Change the name to something else. Um, you have what is a metaverse, World of Warcraft. Okay. By the way, we have Michael Lee, who's the co-creator of Abstract. He's going to be on our show next month. We'll have the dates soon. We already have them booked, but I'm not going to give the dates out now because it's later in the month of April. But he's going to be on our show, and he also I don't know if he still continues to work there, but he worked at Blizzard Entertainment, which is World of Warcraft, right, amongst other games.
Yeah.
They're a big gaming company called Blizzard. So one, I would change metaverse to something else. Also, I feel like in the gaming world, when you go into World of Warcraft, that is what I consider a metaverse. Like when I look at the word metaverse, that's what I see. So I don't know what they call it. They just call it maybe World of Warcraft. I think that it should be uh, whatever metaverse means or whatever metaverse is should be similar to what that is. That's how I envision it. That's how I view it. The same with Sandbox, you guys remember, and what was the other one? There was a few of
Uh,
them. Even
there was a bunch of them. There was what was that one called? Mona.
Decentraland.
Mona. What was the one that
Second
had the
Life,
galleries?
early doors, Second
Yeah,
Life.
yeah. So to me, those are what I see. Like with the land, you buy the land, you have land, you build a little bit on your land, and that to me is what I consider a metaverse. I think like Fortnite is a metaverse, right? It's like Call of Duty is a metaverse, like in
Minecraft.
that regard.
I hear what you guys are saying, but like what my question is not so much the name, but the point I was making was when I went and explored these places, they weren't. I couldn't see it. Like, what do you think would get people interested in watching a band in one of these spaces or watching a live music
Yeah,
performance?
I think it's the interaction, Minton. I'll let you go after I'm done here. But I just think it's the gameplay. It's whatever is inside of it. Why do people play Fortnite? Why do people play Roblox? Why do people play Call of Duty? Because it resonates with them, because it's compelling to them. So I think if you're going to do something with music, then it's got to be something it's got to be compelling. You got to have the music artists in there. It can't just be just as like blah blah blah. Oh, we built a music thing and let it kind of do its thing. It's got to be have substance. It has to have something that's going to make you want to be there. All right,
For
Minton,
sure.
the mic is yours, bud.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No,
Minton,
go
you
ahead,
want to talk?
Cookie. I mean, I do agree about the name, but that's purely because for me it implies Meta and Facebook, and I'm not a fan of that. But names are names. I think it's a barrier to entry thing, like with crypto and NFTs, however you want to phrase it. if an artist that I'm really interested in is doing a gig and they're doing it in a metaverse, then I'm going to make the effort to. Well, I'm certainly going to look into it, and I'm going to make the effort to probably be there. But it depends on what the barrier to entry is, and if I've got to create an account, a new account for each fucking service for each gig because they're all on different things, then that is a barrier to entry, and the level of buy-in or involvement that I have with each artist is going to dictate how much I can be bothered to create a new account. And it's a little bit like that with buying tickets for physical gigs in relatively easy because PayPal and saved cards in Google Wallet or whatever. But there's still enough different ticket places that it's like, okay, I want to go to that gig. Oh, it's this thing. Do I have an account? I can't remember. Do I trust them? So I think that's a big part of it. It's not what draws people in, but it's a significant factor, I think.
Sure. Hey,
Yeah.
I just want to say too, what Hef said, I think is really what I was looking for as far as, like you said, Hef, it's about the engagement. Like once they get there, though, what makes it cool to be there instead of
Right.
because if they get there and it's just like this lame thing, like nobody's impressed by CGI anymore, or is that did I use the right word? Just like the cool 3D looking worlds. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're beautiful, but we've all seen it already. It's got to be the engagement. Like, how are you interacting with the people that are in there or the artists that are in there?
I agree. Yeah, I mean,
Although,
and I'll double down on it. To me, it's like gaming. Call of Duty is a huge metaverse, if you want to call it that. And it's engaging. There's a story. There's people follow it. People play it from beginning to end. They want to finish the game. Those are those type of people. Then you got people that play into the, that are multiplayer, online multiplayer, because it's fun. It's compelling. You can, you know, beat people up if you want. Like it's a game, but you can steal cars, you can get into cars, you can get chased by cops, you can kill cops, you can do all these different type of things in that crazy game that satisfies people's hunger for fun shit like that, right? Even though it's a game, it's not real, it's a game. But they're there and they stick to it and they'll put hours upon hours into it. I mean, look at Roblox. I think Roblox just something happened. I don't know. I think it was Roblox where they're paying out multi-million dollars of money back to the people that played the game because it was making people buy things, misinformation and just whatever. But my point is that kids spend millions of hours playing that game in particular. And think of the other games that I mentioned, World of Warcraft, any other big, huge game that, uh, you know, consumes a lot of your time. It's because, and I'll even go as far as saying even iRacing on a sim, right? Doing some racing on a simulator, you're stuck in there because it's fun. You don't look, when I had iRacing, and I had it on my computer, and I would invite friends over, or even whether it was girls, guys, whatever, that were coming to hang out. And I'm like, get on here, get on here. And they don't want to get the fuck off. They want to stay on the game and racing and keep going because they're compelled by it and it's fun for them to play. I think it's the same thing with this, with music. How do you make it fun? Music is music. We've been around music forever. Music has been around forever, way before we've been born, and our parents been born, and our grandparents been born. But what is going to make you want to go to a metaverse to hang out and to do whatever, 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 where it's only based around music and maybe music videos and whatever, the engagement. But
No, I mean, I think you're right. I think the difference potentially is that music, in the way that we're talking about it, is a bit more. You're more consuming it than taking part in it, and
right.
if you're gaming, obviously there's storylines and non-playable characters and all that, but you're sort of you and the other people you're playing it with are the main focus of it and the main directors of it. I mean, I 20 years ago, in a financial software company, and on a Friday, a bit earlier than we should have done, we'd boot up an Unreal Tournament server on the sysadmin would boot one up and we'd all connect to it. And we'd be there playing on our work PCs with literally our work phones on speakerphones, so we could all slag each other off and, I just killed you in the face and all that kind of thing on our desk phones. And that was more the fun element of it. As much as anything else, and then we'd all go to the pub. So I think you're right. Engagement is a big part of it. I think I've talked before about I'm a big fan of a North Carolina guy called Ben Folds.
Ben Folds 5, yeah.
Ben Folds 5, yeah. All three of them. And during lockdown, the first lockdown, big one, he happened to be in Australia. I can't remember where exactly. Melbourne, I think, on tour, and he was basically stuck there for 4 months, something like that.
Wow.
He'd been in a hotel. He had to get an apartment. He bought some. Yeah. He bought a piano, electric piano, and stuff. And then he did this thing where once a week on a Friday, Saturday night, I can't remember, he would do a gig, but it was very interactive. He'd take requests from people, and there was a few hundred of us on there, but there was a few of it, and it was just on YouTube. But there was a few of us that were there week in, week out, and some of us got to know each other, and then the Discord got set up, and people were talking and that kind of thing. But there was an interactive element of kind of A, he'd answer some questions, and B, he'd take some requests, and that was a really nice. That was partly why I kept signing on to do that again at like 2 a.m. or something like that, because he was trying to find a time that worked for all the different time zones.
Yeah, I mean, quite frankly, I think that's cool. That's the interaction and taking requests and having fun, and I believe something like that too during that time probably opened him up a little bit and made him a lot more humanized because of the situation that he was put in and the interaction that he was able to get out of it, and then also the fans were able to get out of it. Let's say it was kind of forced. He was forced into doing it because of the situation that was going on around him. So he wasn't going to stop and just sit around and go, well, I'll just wait till COVID is over. No, he's a musician. He's always playing music. And he found a very cool way to interact with his fans and maybe new fans that maybe have never heard of him or didn't know of him, but his interaction opened up their mind, and now they're maybe fans for life.
Yeah, exactly. And he's always been quite interactive in one way or another. But yeah, I think you're totally right. It's a completely different thing when that's the only way of doing things.
That's right. Hell yeah. So what do you think of Cookie's lighting setup?
I think it needs more strippers.
Oh, let's go. Hell yeah, bro. By the way, I want to thank our sponsor, Sofa King Amazing.
Wait,
Minton, if
oh,
you ever need, if you,
sorry.
it's all good. Minton, if you ever need a sofa, make sure you hit up Sofa King Amazing. They're
Oh yeah,
amazing.
absolutely,
Yeah,
100% will do.
yeah. And you could actually read that scrolling. Go ahead and read that for everybody.
Yeah, thank you to today's sponsor, Sofa King Amazing. They
Hell
have
yeah, dude.
amazing sofas.
I just wanted to give a quick
Hell yeah.
disclaimer, if you will. Or it's not really a disclaimer, but they're not strippers; they're entertainers.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad, my bad.
Hey,
I mean that. I mean that. My bad.
yeah. Are there any
Well, no,
entertainers
the
near
strippers
you?
won't mind. Don't worry, the strippers won't mind. Okay.
Are there any entertainers near you?
Not right at this second,
We got to
but
get Fantasy,
well, I want them to use their discretion. I don't
China.
want them to be on camera. They
Oh,
they
you just ask
probably,
them. Hey, hey, you want to be
don't
on
get in front
camera?
of the computer. I'm on camera. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
That
wait.
was our
Actually,
chance.
Mason actually does want to say hi. Say hi, Mason.
Hey, Mason, what's happening? Oh, she's pretty. Damn.
Very
Mm.
pretty, right?
Yeah, Mason. I gotta come see Mason. What's her phone number? Let me call Mason up real quick. Hey, Mason, what you doing, girl? I'm here. What's that, Mason? Yeah, I'll pick you up after work. I got you.
Have you just offshoot from that? Have you guys seen Anora, the film that won the best film Oscar?
Oh no, I have not seen it, but I heard about it. You know that it's about what it's about. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of starts off in a strip club, an
In the club.
entertainment club, but it's an amazing film, and the performance from the main woman, whose name I completely can't remember, or in fact the guy, it's well worth a watch.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, the girl won best actress from it, so it's just
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, she's
I'll
brilliant in
eventually
it.
get there. And I heard, yeah. I mean, probably stunned everybody in the audience. You know, I think everyone was probably thinking Demi Moore was going to win the Oscar, and yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of people wanted her to win because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
that kind
Wanted
of.
her,
I,
right?
I actually haven't seen Substance, which is
Me neither.
my bad, but I mean again, I can't remember her name, but she totally deserved it
You
for
talking about
Anora.
you
It's a
talking
really
about the
interesting
girl?
film.
You talking
Yeah,
about the actress?
yeah,
I think her name was Mikey
that's
Madsen.
right, Mike Madison. Yeah, yeah. Thank
Madison.
you. Or something like that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
she, it is Mikey Madison because I have a friend of ours magazine here with her on the cover. There you go.
Yeah, Mikey Madison. That's her. She's cute. How old is she? She is 26 years old, 5'3", and I don't. Where's she from? She's an American actress, and amazing, amazing, amazing. She
Yeah,
won.
she's fantastic in it, and it's a great film, and it takes a while to get going, but once it does get going, it's brilliant, and it portrays her as a worker in a
Sex
entertainment club.
worker. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. She sort of turns out she's that. Starts off as just dancing, but
Don't give it all away. I want to see it.
it's well worth a watch.
Excellent. Okay, Cookie. So what was her name? Madison.
That was Mason.
Mason.
Very nice,
Mason.
very
Wow.
nice girl.
Very. I want to come to the club now
It's a
and meet
trap.
Mason. It's a trap. Oh shit. I want to meet Mason and say hello in person. Maybe share a slice of pizza with her.
I know she likes sushi. She seems to order that a lot while she's here.
That's what's up, man. I just don't want her to. I don't want her to be in the time wasters club and waste my time.
Oh
Okay.
Lord.
So, Minton, any new music that you've been listening to this week? If not, just say no. All right. Well, we can't hear you. It's always good when
Oh,
your
yeah.
mic is
I
unmuted.
I said I think there is, but I can't remember what it is. So you'll have to
Oh,
come
then it
back.
must not be memorable, man. Forget about it. Next. Okay, Cookie, what are you listening to that's new this week?
I'm listening to Cookie Rabinowitz all my waking hours. I'm writing a lot of new music. I'm
Okay,
writing a
okay.
lot of new music. So I don't really listen to other music while I'm making my own music because
Oh,
I have a
okay.
lifetime of inspiration. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm working on my music, and I have so many great influences, inspirations in my memory banks. And then when I'm done making my new stuff, then I'll go back to absorbing a lot of new stuff. Because I mean, let's face it, there's a lot. People shit on new music, but there's a lot of great music being made every day. You know.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that that you don't listen to other music, you know, that when you're making music. I guess that makes sense. You know, you're in your own little world and vibe and you're doing your thing. By the way, behind the Protect Your Devs is my MIDI controller. I'll show you.
Nice. What is that?
Launch Key.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's a Launch Key 25 by Novation, and I can't wait to mess with it because I've been messing with this new software Minton called Spawn. Cookie, well, I don't want to say he hates it, but Cookie is has his opinion on it, right? Cookie, like you don't hate it, you
He's cautious.
yeah,
No, I'm not even cautious. I just don't want to use it because
you
the
don't want to
joy of
use it.
music to me is melodies. I'm a melody man. I'm a
Yeah.
lyric man. So why would I have robots do that shit for me? Robots are my bitch. They're not my
Because we
master.
like to.
Yeah, yeah. Me, I like fucking with everything. So I'm, you know me, I'm gonna start messing with it. But okay, so I've been listening back to every once in a while, like I get these memories of like, oh, I remember that album, or I remember whatever songs. So I went back listening to Declaim, who this album I believe was produced by Madlib. It's a really dope album, like an album that you can listen to. I remember it being on triple vinyl. I had it on vinyl. I think it was triple or quadruple vinyl, either three or four records in one, because there was a lot of songs on there. Um, and just a little side note is we would always do songs. Let's say it was 12 songs on the album. We would always do double vinyl because it stretches out the grooves. So you would have three songs on each side, which gives the grooves more room, and the sound quality is a lot warmer and a lot just much more richer
It's like
than
is it like HDR on video? Kind of, it gives you more depth in the
it
between
does.
the highs
It
and the
does.
lows.
Right. So when the grooves are smaller, um, the sound quality is not as good as if the grooves were
Yeah.
wider. So
Okay.
that just goes for vinyl. So, but you would see, you could do the comparison, like albums that were single vinyl opposed to double vinyl. Like I want to say Diggable Planet's first album was low because they shoved all these songs on each side. It was just one single vinyl. So yeah, I don't know why I'm stuck on this, but yeah. So this was one of those albums that was just really good. Let me try and get it up on the screen just so I can play it for you. I'll play a little bit of it for you guys. Can you see this? Yeah. Okay. So I'll play just a little bit here.
Come on. Let's move. Let's move. Move it like that. Like what? Like that. That. Let's move. Let's move. Move it like that.
Man, now that's a groove, man.
I like that.
Yeah.
I
So
was trying to click on the screen to save it to my playlist and realize it's your screen. You know.
yeah, I'll put it. I'll put it. I'll send you just a link, a direct link, so you can go
Yeah,
check it out
dude.
on. Yeah. But this is a really you got to like hip hop. That's number one. And Madlib is like one of the dopest producers of our generation. Him, Jay Dilla. There's so many dope producers, but this album was really done well. And Declaim also goes by a name of Dudley Perkins. So it's Declaim, and I believe his real name is Dudley Perkins. And I know him. I met him. He's such a cool, like laid back stoner dude, and but just super super dope on. I shouldn't say he's a stoner dude, but his demeanor is like a stoner dude. He's like real laid back and real chill, and he's about the purity of music. And yeah, I don't think he would be into Spawn. Yeah, you know.
You never know though, because I think Spawn's cool. Like I think you misread me. I think it's cool, but I think like for instance, like the way I would use AI maybe for a drum groove or something, because even though I love a groove and I understand the groove, I'm not necessarily always so great at making one. So I might look at some tools like that to help me kind of come up with some stuff for that. But like melodies are what resonates with my spirit. Like when I write and sing a melody and create it, the creation part is a big part of why I do it. Uh,
Yeah,
so so anyway, I just want to say like I'm not shitting on Spawn. Like I think if people vibe with using it in that way, I think they should do it at whatever floats their boat. And I'm sure it's a great program for people that want to utilize it for those reasons.
that's right. Okay, I'm gonna pull up because I had sent you something a while back, and it was something that I created um, with Spawn. So I'm gonna upload it to our channel here, and then I'm gonna play it so Minton can hear it also, and then everybody else in the audience can hear it. So this I made with this software called Spawn. And so what Spawn allows you to do is it allows you to create these melodies by using AI. It's actually melodies that were played by somebody, but when you spawn it, it spawns out the melody in a different way. And then you have 8 versions of that you can mess with. Then on top of it, you can, in your DAW, which is like Ableton or Pro Tools, whatever you're using, Fruity Loops, whatever. Then you can then manipulate it even more. You can change the sound of what the melody is. Like if you want a horn instead of a guitar, you want it to be just a bass line. So there's a multitude of things that you can do. So what I'm going to play is not what it actually sounded like when I was bringing it in from the software itself. So this one's called Deep Sleep, and it's real chill. The drums are just temporary, and so this is a song I'm still building on. But here we go. Okay, so that's all I want to really play. I mean, it kind of goes into little, the same patterns back and forth. But again, this was something that I just kind of was goofing with and playing. Now that I got my little keyboard, my MIDI keyboard out of storage, Minton and Cookie, now I can actually, because I did that just with the laptop, right? No keyboard, no nothing. So now I have a lot more control, and I can manipulate and mess around a little bit more. So
So
I'm gonna have fun with it.
I'm interested. So what were the inputs you put into the process to get that out?
Okay, so Spawn is a software, right? And you can. Damn, I wish I could show you. Let me see if I could show you so it makes sense. But
I mean, I remember you talking about it on previous
yeah,
shows.
yeah, yeah.
I'm interested in like, how you got to that end result.
I put it in. I did the song in Spawn, so I open Ableton, and then I add Spawn, which is a VST plugin, to
Right.
one of the channels. Then
Okay.
I can create my melody. If I want just a bass line, I can get. If I want the chords, or if I want the melody itself, or all three of them, and you can have them on all separate tracks, so you can then mix and manipulate each individual track.
And if you can remember in that particular example, what did you ask it to do? The chords or
I didn't ask it to do anything. I just hit spawn, and then I was like listening to each different like section. It gives you 8 segments as well of the same melody, but played in a different pattern.
Right.
And so, and then, but you could also then once you hit the button and it brings that MIDI pattern into Ableton, you can then move the
Yeah, of
notes
course.
around.
Yeah, yeah.
You can if you don't like it because it's maybe a minor chord or a major chord or whatever, you can manipulate that again. You can move those around. You can add more notes. You can remove more notes. You can shorten. You can long. It's a MIDI track, right? MIDI pattern. So and then I just put it in through processing, and I processed different things on different parts of the melody, and it was Fafo, fuck around and find out pretty much.
I mean, it's nice. It's got a nice groove. It's it's relaxing. Yeah. I mean, I definitely gonna have a play myself, so to
Yeah.
speak.
So okay. So I am not afraid to contact anybody. Cookie knows this. He always gives me props, but I just am not afraid to contact anybody. So I reached out to Spawn and said, "Hey, look, we got a fucking show, and it's our show is based around music and tech, sponsored by Rug Radio." They got back to me. I reached out also because I was like, "We want to demo it so we can." And we'd like to have you guys come on the show, which still waiting for them to get back. But the software itself is $160. That's not like, just like, you're just like, oh, okay, I'm going to get 10 of them. So for the average bear, that's expensive. People that don't have, or that are musicians, like struggling musicians, as right. So they gave us the software for free, a key for me and a key for Cookie, and so I was like blessed. I felt blessed, like, wow, that's awesome. But I just reached out to them, and I genuinely want to have them come on the show and explain more in depth about the software, and then me manipulating and using the software myself. Then we can have an educated conversation, and hopefully, people that are listening to Jus Riffin, uh, you know, can get more out of it.
I thought you were going to play the Jus Riffin there.
I don't have it. I don't have it on here. I gotta put it on here, man. Hold on.
But yeah, I think that would be amazing. Yeah, if they can find time to come on and then have that discussion, but also you do a live demo. Create something live on the show. That'd be amazing.
That would be dope. We invited the CEO on the show, and
Is he? Is he a musician? Are the staff mostly musicians? Do you know?
That I'm not sure, but
they tend to be on music software. I think. Yeah.
So this software, so all of the patterns that were created by a human.
Yeah, I remember you saying on the previous show. Yeah.
And then when you spawn, then that's where the AI picks up and takes over and starts but I think they did a good job with it. I still like playing with it. There's so much software out there, and I just feel like when you're doing digital music, when you're dealing with digital music, there's no rhyme or reason. There's no like right or wrong way to do it. It's like unless you're straight up plagiarizing somebody's song and you're not doing anything different or sample. You just sampled it. You're not doing anything different to manipulate it or to replay it or to give it its own identity because you produced it. Then I'm against that. But if you are taking the software and making your own thing from it, that basically I could never tell that you used whatever software, then I'm all for that because I feel like you're being creative. Whoever you are, you're still being creative using that software, even though it is made by AI or however it was done. You're still going to remanipulate it. You're still going to maneuver things around to get the sound that you want out of it. That's all.
For sure. And I think it's also a good point to add that this stuff is going to be so wild. Like all this technology is being implemented, this machine learning and AI in so many different ways into all of this software and all the software we already use. Like we've had DJs talk about Serato and how the stems, and it's an exciting new world. And I'm with you 100% on that, Hef. Like However somebody wants to be creative, I think it's free reign as long as nobody's getting hurt in the process. It's like use whatever tools you can. Cavemen used rocks, I think. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
we had like lutes and guitars and accordions and synthesizers and computers. It's all just tools to express what we want to come out of our voice. So it's all free game as long as no one's getting hurt. And by getting hurt, we mean physically, of course, and we mean we don't want to infringe on somebody's intellectual property, even
Right.
though, that's kind of a gray area too, because what is intellectual property? I mean, you can't call anything I ever created intellectual, that's for sure.
No, but you can certainly call it property. It'd be really interesting to know what they train that AI on. Yeah.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Let me see here. Digital audio output would be this. Let's see. Let's see if this works. Okay, so just trying to. Oops. It's a little sensitive. All right, let me go back to the browser and let's see if I can share. Let's replace that with with window with this. There we go. Okay, can you see this at all? Let me see. Let me go back to Restream. No? Okay. All right, you can see this, right? You guys can see that?
Yep.
All right, so let me go to, oh shit, it's not letting me do it. Let me go here. Hang on, guys. Okay, so you could see this, right? You could see my mouse. Can you hear me at all?
I can
Yeah, we
see
can
that.
hear you. We can see and we can hear.
Okay, great. All right, so let me see here. These are okay. So here you see, like you can pick what you want. I'm just going to randomly pick here, like experimental, um, uh, glide, uh, and let's go with happy. We'll just keep it. So I'm going to hit close, and then I'm going to spawn something. So now it's spawning. So you see it's
there's
doing this.
we can see your screen, but there's something we can't see, or I can't see the overlays that you're clicking on.
Do you hear that?
Yeah, I hear that.
Oh wait, why is it okay, so I don't know why you can't. So you can't see what happened.
I can see your screen, and I could hear
Oh,
the music, but I couldn't see the drop downs. Basically, I think.
okay. So you're able to see Ableton Live right now?
Yeah, but there's nothing
Okay.
on it. Basically,
Okay. Oh, there's nothing on it, so you
there's no
don't.
tracks or anything. And when
But
you were
you
saying I'm going to click this and that wasn't
gotcha.
visible to me.
Okay.
But
Are you able to hear the sound or no?
yeah.
Okay. So now I'm gonna respawn. I'm just gonna respawn something, like it's gonna change the whole pattern up. I wish you could see what I was doing. So you can't see what I'm doing? Is that the case?
It's like you're clicking on nothing.
Gotcha. Okay, so here's a pattern, and here's another pattern from the same melody.
Yeah.
Now I turn the chorus off, and I turn the melody off. Now it's just the bass. Now I'm going to turn the bass off and bring the chords in. And the melody, right?
Yep.
You could still hear it?
Yep.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, it's really nothing with nothing, with this it's I wish I could show you. I wish it was I'm going to quit it, but I wish it was I was able to like show you what I was doing. um, in the spawn, in the thing itself. You know, unfortunately, we're using a new streaming software, and it is
It's probably it's probably something to do with the Z index on the in the interface.
quite possible. But it's fun nonetheless. It's fun to play
Yeah,
with. Yeah,
and when you sort of regenerated the chords, you could really tell the difference. They had a different tone.
yeah, and so if you were unable to see what I was clicking, there's like a tags. There's tags, right? So like I was saying, experimental,
Yeah.
dark, happy, energetic. Were you able to see that or no?
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah, there was no drop downs or anything, but
Okay. So it basically allows you to pick these like certain traits, and then you spawn out something that was somebody played, and then by
yeah,
AI, it's giving you different stuff. So, and I don't want to keep staying on this because we have talked about Spawn for quite a while, and we're not getting paid. So, but it's a very cool software nonetheless, and I just it's cool. I like messing around with it. I'm going
yeah,
to mess around with it a little bit more too.
yeah. I'd love to play with it. It sounds awesome.
Yep. So, yeah, Cookie,
What is up?
what's up, bro?
I'm just doing a little multitasking here, making the donuts, but all's well, and I'm listening. And I love Spawn, the Spawn talk. I think it's cool bringing it up because it's something you're diving into, man. So it's
Yeah,
interesting to hear, what you're working on creatively with whatever tools you're using. And if you're inspired by some tools, yeah, that's what we're about here. Just let's share
Yeah,
everything, you know.
that's what's up, man. That's what I'm talking about, man.
yeah,
Yeah,
and especially there's when you Google, there's so many VST plugins, and a load of them are great, and a fuck ton of them are very generic and don't do anything interesting. And so, to be honest, it's like with phone apps um, or meme coins. Any recommendation of like a place to sort of go and have an investigation is way better than just googling shit. So
that's
yeah,
right.
I mean, it sounds like a Spawn sounds like a thing that's well worth getting into and playing around with.
It's definitely fun, and if you got $160 to throw away, somewhat, I guess, because you're going to just spend it and not get it back. But then I think you'll have fun with it if you're into that type of thing.
I will
I
start
want to.
saving my pound coins.
Yeah, there you go. I want to move the conversation a bit here, and I want to get on to myriad markets. Um, just because things have moved along now, and now we're using USDC. So I wanted to get both you guys your takes on what myriad markets, what you think of it now, how you're doing. Also, I mysteriously woke up one morning and there was like over 1 million points in my thing. Uh, I don't know if that's from something I won or if it was a bonus. I don't know. But did you guys get something too?
I
Did you
have
wake
nothing
up?
like a million. I have nowhere near a million tokens. I think I
What
had
the hell?
32. I have 35 tokens right now.
Okay. I
I mean,
woke up.
I've got like 400,000 or something, but I did not have anything like a million.
Oh my
I
God.
know I
Okay.
had a drop of a million.
I don't know how the hell it got there. I don't know if it was the Formula One race, and I just don't understand it. I woke up, I was like, 1 million? What the hell? Like what? I'm like, thank you, Myriad Market Gods. Thank you.
Do you think maybe, Cookie? Do you think maybe it was Mason?
Oh no, Mason usually gets the million for herself, and then she usually takes it from guys like us.
She's not trying to steal. She's trying to take. Okay, so yeah, so I got blessed. I don't know. I probably, from something I was trying to find out where I won the points. I have to go back down in the history, but I've been having fun with it, and I feel like I bet little. I like to bet on everything, but I bet little. I don't have the balls like some of these guys that are betting,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
And I don't know how the hell they got 18 million, 100 million, 500 million. I'm like, how did you get all those points? from the jump. I don't know like how they built it up so fast, but interesting nonetheless. What's your guys' take? How are you guys doing in the markets, in the prediction markets? What are you getting from it? What are you getting out of it?
I mean, I'm. I think when I look today, I'm down 50k points. And to be,
Profit loss?
huh?
Profit loss. Okay.
But I don't know if that includes season one and what's going on now.
No, it's just season one, not preseason.
Right. So I thought I did pretty well season one, but evidently not. I mean, so I haven't yet got around. I've been super fucking busy with work the last couple of weeks. I haven't got around to putting any USDC in there yet, so I haven't done a USDC bet so far. I've got a load of bets that I'm markets that I'm currently waiting on points. I think they're not generally going great. But I think it's fantastic to see what they're doing and moving into USDC and just the it's fuck around, find out. You got to try stuff and see how things if someone comes in with a big bid and how it affects the market, and there's a load of stuff to work out there and just trial. I'm sure that obviously they've done the research in the background, but it's I'm enjoying it, even though I haven't got into the USDC bit yet. Yeah, you're muted, F.
Now you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I muted my mic and I went to a different screen. So I am in the USDC markets. I have like 20 something dollars in my thing, or $17 available in the USDC, but I have in my Abstract account. I only put like 20 something dollars in there,
Yeah.
and I have money that's out now on some bets. So I did bet though. I thought that Ferrari. I put $10 that Ferrari would reach the podium in China. I just felt just because Hamilton won the sprint, and I thought he was gonna. I thought he would be higher up in the poll, but I picked Orlando Piastri to win early on, so I got a nice chunk of change from that. I don't know, I'm just having fun. Cookie, what's your stance, man? I know you're not like a big sports guy or better or whatever, but what's your stance on myriad markets currently?
Well, I'll tell you what. It's actually been kind of like this is gonna sound funny, but I've actually been using it as kind of a form of meditation. Oh, what's up? Yeah, I got you. I got you coming up.
Gucci Mane, what's up, dog?
Okay. Well, keep throwing the money. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. But anyway, so at the end of the day, and I really mean at the end of the day this time, when I have a long day and I've been doing a lot of different shit, that's when I open up Myriad Markets, and or I should say Myriad, not Myriad Markets, and I first thing I do is I go to the learn part,
Mhm.
and there's always at least one article that I'm like, wow, I want to read this, so I go to that first. I read it, and I really do read it. I don't just scroll. I read it, and then I go through the process. I collect the points, and then after that, well, I shouldn't say that. The first thing I do is I claim the daily reward thing. When you go in, that's the first thing I do. And then I go through the articles and I say, oh, this is something I'm into. And there's always at least one article right in my first glance that I'm like, oh, okay, I can resonate with that. So I read that article, I collect the points. Then after I'm done that, then I go right to the DGen part of it. I don't want to call it DGen, but I go to the markets, and then I see if there's anything there that I did. A lot of times, and to know it's to my own just lack of I don't know sports and stuff. So, and I want to ask you a question pertaining to that. So, a lot of times I don't participate in the markets because I don't really have an opinion on them. But what did want to ask you is before I get there, but then I go back to the articles and I see if there's any more articles I like, and then I leave. But in the markets thing, because I remember you using a poker thing before, because I don't know poker. You use the donkey when somebody's not playing the game right. And this is a very specific question. I'm glad you brought up Marriott because I would ask you. Sometimes I see a bet that's totally lopsided, right? And it's like 95%, but there's only like literally like there'll be like 10 minutes left before it ends, but it's still open. Does it make me a bad player if I go all in on the obvious play just to make like a couple points? Is that bad taste
No,
to the
no,
players?
no. Okay, so sometimes because okay, I'll give you an example with Formula One. Usually, whoever's on the pole, this is some alpha. Whoever's on the pole is usually the one who's going to win the race because they're always out front. For unless something happens, they get into an accident, they make a mistake, whatever. But normally, because they're out in clean air and those race cars are fast anyway, it's hard to get past. It's very hard to pass somebody in those type of races. So usually wherever they shoot out at on the first go, that's usually where they're going to land. Like I said, unless something happens, right? Um, let me get Minton back here because he's back now. But yeah, so that's how what do you call it works with Formula One. So if you wait until you know who was on the pole and you could get in before that market closes, then put all your money on whoever the pole sitter is, even if you lose. But it's a good chance that you're not going to lose. You're going to win, right? Um, so
There's
What I
definitely
want,
something about being early in the markets, I think.
well, early, but he's also talking about being late on an obvious play, right? So, like he was asking, is it better to win a few thousand points than, first of all, yes,
well, I do want
than
to
losing.
let me interject real quick because I guess the main question was, are you cheating by doing that? Is what I'm saying.
No,
Is
you're
that
not
like kind of
cheating.
cheating?
No, you're
Okay,
not cheating at all. You're just
I didn't know.
making a wise play because you can't cheat. There's no cheating. It's just you're picking up change.
I made a bit points wise from the Super Bowl coin toss because I could not understand why it wasn't 50-50. Like, it's a random
Oh, I
chance.
didn't do that. I didn't do the coin toss. What was it?
I can't remember.
Oh, did you win
and,
on
and
it?
and I didn't leave any bets. I didn't leave much on. But when it was like 44, well, the maths is 66. It's like there's an imbalance there that doesn't make sense because it's a pure chance. It should be 50-50,
Yeah.
despite whatever the history of it says and whatever physics you want to look at about the coin. And so wherever there's a imbalance there like that, where it's like, well, it should be this. And same with football betting in the UK. Yeah, the places that you're most likely to win is where someone a sports betting thing has undervalued a particular thing. So it's like, well, this player's almost certainly going to foul or have a shot at the goal, but the market doesn't reflect that. So you've got 1.2 or whatever when it should be 1.1. And therefore you play the odds that way. And I think same in sports betting, you can do it and cash out, but I think with and this was obviously a month or so ago before they moved into USDC, and maybe it's different now, but I certainly had some success points wise with what I thought was a 50-50, and so whatever is undervalued should go up in my opinion. Didn't always happen because I guess people are superstitious, but
Yeah, for sure. So with the new stuff, I'm waiting. March Madness is happening, but so this Tennessee versus Kentucky, everyone's taking Tennessee, and I just Kentucky. I just took first of all good odds. I bet 42,000. I wish I had more, but I'll win 50%. a little bit more than 50% if Kentucky wins, which I really feel Kentucky will win. I
I've
put
kept, I've
I
kept
put
out of that because I literally don't know what March Madness is.
March Madness is the tournament, NCAA tournament they do for men and for women in basketball. So March Madness, basically, it all happens through March, and it's bracket based. So they take the best 64 teams, they're ranked, and they match them up against each other, and then
Yeah, then it
they
comes
keep
in.
playing. Yeah, it's if you lose once, you're out of the tournament. That's how it
Yeah.
goes. And then so I like either. There's four teams. Well, yeah, four teams I like, but I'm really rooting for Florida because I'm obviously from Florida, so I'm rooting for Florida Gators. But I like Duke also. I like Houston. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how things go. There are some teams that were underdogs that won, upsetting some teams that would have been the obvious play. But in these games, in these tournaments, nothing is obvious.
Yeah. I mean, that's sport, isn't it?
Yeah, you could lose on any given Sunday, any given
Yeah.
night.
100%.
Yeah. So we are at 10 o'clock. This is Jus Riffin. We do it every Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tonight has been our community jam. We were hoping that more people showed up in the sense of wanting to get on stage with us and bullshit with us and talk about the talk and walk the walk and all that good stuff. So usually the last Tuesdays of every month, we do this. Next month, we have a busy month. We have 5 Tuesdays next month, 5 Tuesdays next month. So we're excited about that. We will not have a community jam next month because we're booked up with guests so far. So we look forward to it. And next week, we have a special guest coming on our show.
Emmett Lee Stang.
Yep, I was going to put it up there. See you guys next week when we have our special guest. Our special guest will be Emmett Lee Stang. Not Stang from the Police, though. Man, I'm goofing, always goofing. All right, so
He's stuck in his fields of gold. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's been awesome, and we had a good conversation today. We talked a little bit about Napster. We talked about Marianne Markets. We talked about Declaim, Dudley Perkins, some music. We talked about what else did we talk? I'm missing something.
Your AI. Yeah.
AI, Spawn. We talked about what's her name? Monroe, Madison.
Mason.
Oh yeah.
Mason.
We talked about Twickenham.
And we talked about Madison, one of the two.
Madison, Mason.
Walking Madison. Yeah.
So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for hanging out with us. We are streaming also on Abstract. Got to figure out how to get the audience on Abstract to join in and to watch. I don't know how Abstract quite works, but we are streaming on Abstract. We're streaming on YouTube. We're streaming on X. I don't know if we're streaming on Twitch lately. I got to double check that. But either way, we're having fun. Next week, we're going to have a guest on, so come back and hang out with us. Any last words, Cookie?
Just thank you guys for hanging out. This was fun for me, and can't wait for next week.
That's right. Minton, got any last words?
Keep it moving always.
There you go, bro.
The Jus Riffin Show is every Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Presented by KIM, always powered by radio.
Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Just Riffin. Tuesday night, 8:30 EST. Know where we be. Just Riffin. Special guest and tech and talk. A musicology. Just Riffin. Coming to you live at the same time. Here every week. Just Riffin. Jump in the room. Let's chop it up. It really ain't that deep. Just Riffin.